Alright. Okay.
We're all enjoying this conversation. If you are enjoying, please kindly say something. Seems that the network.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. No, so I mean, it all depends on the various positions you're looking for, but the main thing is to look out for an extreme quality in the position you're looking at, and then also looking at the personality of the player as well.
So we need to look at that the technique. We need to look at also you still consider what the teams out there, what they're actually looking for, what kind of striker are they looking for? Is it an holding striker? Is it a space striker? Is it a support striker and all that? So if you are watching, if you are a young player watching, please, if you have your pen and biro, write all these things down so that by the time you are going to the next scouting event, you will know that, okay, these are what I'm expected to do on the pitch. And if you cannot do it, please, maybe you look for another job and do. So try as much as possible, write all these things down. If you have the opportunity to put them into practice, so that by the time you'll be available for the next scouting event, which might happen anywhere, or which will be you will go to, try as much as possible, put these attributes into place. And it might be your lucky day, and that might change your career from where it is to the next level. Yeah, I want to ask again, do you want to say something?
Yeah. First of all, I want to say I have some advice to the Nigerian academies as well in the way they train, and because I mean, one of the things that most Nigerian players are lacking when they come for trial is finishing. And I see that because if you look at most of the pitches in Nigeria, there's no net around the goals. So, I mean, in Europe, every player, maybe after training, strikers, they're there for an hour, half an hour doing finishing with maybe 50 balls, shootings and stuff like that. So you see that majority of the at least the Nigerian players that come to Europe, they lack that finishing ability. Yes, so my advice is to really focus on the finishing, and also for the academies to have enough balls, have a net around the goal so you don't have to be running around to get the ball. And also if you watch the training in the top leagues in Europe, you hardly see the teams playing 11 against 11. You see more 4 against 4, 6 against 6, high-intensity games. So for many Nigerian players, when they come on trial, they find it hard to do 6 against 6 because you have to follow your man the whole time. You have to be physically ready for that. And so those are the things. You don't have to play 11 against 11 every training. It's enough to do that maybe once a week or something. Focus more on high quality trainings, speed in what you do. And so that's my greatest advice to the academies.
This is a very good advice, and I believe most of some academy owners are actually watching, like a VIA Academy, they are watching, and also the coach of my team is also watching, and I believe they can pick from this, not playing 11 aside, making more of 6v6 and decided games. And also for the players to try as much as possible work on their finishing, because and truly this also is also transiting into our national team, because when you look at it very well, we hardly score goals in the national team because of lack of finishing. We don't finish very well, and I think this is something that the grassroots coaches also should really work on. And maybe concerning the nets, maybe each of the teams should try as much as possible to see how they can put in net, because the fear of the balls running away and all that also gives some of the team the fear that they want to work on this. Imagine an academy team like my team. Sometimes we have about 30 balls. After working on this finishing, at the end of the day, maybe we'll have 10 balls remaining. But what I they most of the balls
that's the thing.
they fly away, But what can we do? We must still continue to improvise and still continue to work on this. And we believe. You want to say something?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to nets and everything, I think before I come to Nigeria the next time, let's talk together. I'll be able to get some nets and everything, and try to help out also in the communities by. So let's see what we can do, because me and my team are ready to help out.
No problem. It's going to be a very nice one. We're gonna really appreciate you for the nice gesture. And let me go to the next question. Do you use video analysis for scouting of a grassroots player, or you prefer watching them during your scouting games, or do you like watching them through videos? Which one do you actually prefer? Because now we see that most agents will say, they call you, I want video of a grassroots player. And we know that at the grassroots, I always tell most of agents that the videos does not actually translate what the player can actually do when you watch them live. So I want to hear from you. What do you think is the best way to go about this of a grassroots player? Because we are discussing about grassroots football.
Yeah, of course, live scouting, without a doubt. It's totally impossible to scout a player just based on an academy game, watching a video. I mean, I've never worked like that. I don't think any team in Norway Sure. So
we're talking about the video. Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer using video to scout a player, or you prefer watching that player physically?
Yeah. There's an
I can hear you. Can you loud and clear.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I've never scouted a player based on the videos. Okay. It's totally impossible. You need to see a player live. Everyone could look good on a highlight. Yeah, even me and you could look like world-class strikers on a highlight.
And so you have the height. You have the height. You look so big.
Yeah, sure. So scouting live is very important.
Okay, yeah, you prefer the live scouting than the video scouting. So amongst these two, with what you just said, what do you think is the difference? What do you think is the difference between both? So I'm with you.
Yeah. So like I said, scouting live is the only way to do it, in my opinion. Of course, when you watch professional football in Europe, then of course you can do some scouting online, but of course the scouts in major clubs also, they don't just base their decisions on what they see on a video in a full game. They always want to see a player live as well.
No, that's fantastic. So what we should focus more now is the physical scouting. But now I must say, if we're finding this interesting, let's say something about the whole conversation. So if you're an agent watching, I think we are able to learn one or two things from what Mr. Atta has been saying in terms of the usage of a video and scouting. And let's see how we can convince these clubs for them to know that there are a lot of good players at the grassroots. Now that we are doing this post-COVID era, which of both will you like advise more? Or because now we know that a lot of there's going to be a lot of traveling a restriction. The rate at which people will be traveling now will be a little bit restricted and all that because of the pandemic and all that. So now that after the pandemic, which will you advise more? If or what do you want the players to do differently so that they can have the chances?
Hopefully, I mean, the pandemic, the situation in the world will get better very soon. I don't think that many serious teams in Europe would take a player based on just what they see in an academy video or highlight. So hopefully, I mean, things get better and people could still travel down to Nigeria and watch the players live again. But it doesn't hurt to have a good highlight video or have some full games and everything. But I doubt if most serious teams would base their decision just on what they see on a video.
On the video of the academy player.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Sure.
During your scouting program, what difference do you see in a grassroots player and the professional players? Because I know I've attended several of the scouting programs. We have some of the professional players from the Nigerian MPFL that do also attend. And also we have many academies too that do attend. What difference do you see in these players? Because mostly or most times we see that the grassroots player tends to have higher edge than all these MPFL player at your scouting programs or in other scouting programs that I've actually attended. What difference do you see amongst these two, and what makes you think that the grassroots player has edge? So I want you to say something about this as well.
Yeah, I think you know, it's always impossible to generalize to say all NPFL players are like this or all academy players are like that, because you still also find some good players from the Nigerian Premier League that come and do well in Europe as well. But I would say that in general, you see that most of the academy players are more eager to show themselves. They show a hunger. They don't feel that. Yeah, they don't feel that they're good. They're big players and they don't have to impress anyone. So you see more of hunger. For instance, last year in the summer 2019, found a fantastic player, Atta Kadiri. Took him for trial in Sweden in Östersund, and is one of the best young strikers in the Swedish league now. And he came straight from academy level as well, only maybe spending 1-2 months at the top level. So it's really I mean, it gives you inspiration when you see players come from that kind of level, come straight to Europe, start scoring goals, being a regular player from day one. So I mean, the future of Nigerian football is bright, also because of all the good work that's done by academies in Nigeria, people like you, good coaches. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the grassroots players are more hungrier to deliver. They are more hungrier for success than I would say maybe some of the Nigerian MPFL play. And if like I always tell people, when we look at the statistics, the grassroots players playing in Europe are more than players playing that moved from the Nigerian league or from the professional league. And this is showing that the grassroots football is doing a lot of job, a very good job, like you just said. We hope that the Nigerian Football Federation can put more attention onto the grassroots academies and do the needful for us, so that we can all go and be able to groom more players. Because the more we have better grassroots players, the more even it will transit into our national team, and we have a lot of Nigerian players that will be playing all over everywhere in the world. My next question is, for grassroots players, what would you advise for them to put more energy on that can help them take their career to the next level? What would you advise? Do you think that they need to put more energy on? Or what do you think they need to work on more?
I think being I would say being a full-time athlete, by understanding that being a footballer is more than what you just do in 2 hours that you train a day. It's all about what you eat, how much rest you get.
Sorry, please. Sorry, please. Can you come back again? I want you to mention that 2 hours, because I've mentioned it in one of my programs, and it looks as if some of them will look at you like you talk too much. Please come again with that. Just 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, being a football player is more than just the 2 hours you spend on the training ground with the coach. Yeah, it's all about it's all about you resting well, eating well. I mean, alcohol, stuff like that, trying to be a full-time professional. That's the advice I would give them. But also an important advice that I want to give everyone in general is to not pay anyone to come to Europe to get an invitation and all of that, because people fall victim the whole time.
Yeah.
You see them being I mean, getting conned by 419ers, taking money from them to get to Europe. I have the same problem. Every week I need to check Facebook to find accounts in my name, because I've deleted I've deleted 40, 50 accounts by reporting them to Facebook that are claiming to be me, claiming to be bigger players, claiming to be coaches, and all these kids, they fall victim when they see a profile on Facebook promising them that if they pay 200 euros, they could come to travel for an academy and going to Liverpool Academy or going to CSKA Moscow and stuff like that. And people pay more than 200 euros. Some people pay 1,000 euros. They put themselves in debt, all because of believing
you want to go to Europe.
Yeah, sure. So be wise. There's no good agent out there or no team out there that would start asking you for money for visas, asking you for money to travel, blah, blah, blah. So you need to be wise and understand that there's no way I would contact a player and start asking him for money for him, for the visa or for the plane ticket or stay in Europe. So just be wise. Don't fall victim. Yeah.
That's a very good advice from you. I really appreciate you for this advice you're giving, because the last session we had a player that was scammed about 300,000 naira, that was given a fake German visa. While I was even asking him, I was surprised. A German visa, you never visited the German embassy. I always wish I could share the visa on this platform. It's very funny, but some of all these young players, they are naive, and it's just pathetic that we have a lot of bad people on the platform, on Facebook and everywhere now, that spoils the names of good agents.
Sure.
And I think there is a little bit of campaign going on Facebook few days now. Everyone is trying to report every agent or every fake agent or any agent that requested for money, and I think it's a very good campaign. It's going on LinkedIn too. It's going on Facebook. But I believe if we can do more of this, maybe we can have and try as much as possible to educate these players for them to understand, and which part of the essence of this platform is educating them, for them to know what to do, how to do, what you need to do for you to get yourself to the next level. I would say thank you very much for this advice. And if I may ask again, what advice would you give to a grassroots player that attends several scouting programs and never get picked? And if you have any question you want to ask him, you can actually drop your question. Welcome back. The network has been so bad today. We don't know what's happening. Welcome.
Yeah, it's been bad.
Yeah. So like I asked, I said, what advice would you give to a grassroots player that attends scouting programs several times and he never get picked? And what do you think he needs to do in the next one he attends? What do you think he needs to do differently? Because we always have situation whereby a player will say, "Oh, I've been to several scouting programs and they never pick me." It's a lie. Oh. So like I was asking, what do you think he needs to do? He needs to do in the next one he attend, because you see most of them will go to scouting event or scouting tournament. Most, I will tell you today, they don't believe in it.
No.
I always tell I tell my players something, that in my team I don't have any other thing. I don't have deal. I can't tell you to bring money to any. All I have is scouting programs. So what do you think? Because we need to change their mindset. What do you think they need to do differently for those that attend that don't get picked?
First of all, like everything else you do in life, you don't always get picked straight away. But it's all about
I'm here. Yeah, the network. Yeah. the network.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if you heard what I said, but I mean, like everything else you do in life, you don't always get picked straight away. So you need to, it's just like, even if you're an agent, you don't find the next Messi straight away. You have to put in the work. I mean, you could go scouting and watch 50 games and.
Oh, good to have you. Good to have you, Mr. Atta. I'm really sorry. The network today has been so crappy. Because this
no
interview
problem.
has to be done by all means. Whether it has to be done.
Yeah, sure.
And I would say it has been very educative. It has been very interesting. And I believe, including myself, I've been able to learn a lot. And I'm sure every other person who also have been watching. So I want to use this opportunity to thank everybody who has been with us, even that the network is giving us problems. Some people are still staying because they want to know, they want to see, they want to hear from the main man himself. I say the super agent, the #1 agent in the world. And my prayer is for you to have them in Real Madrid, Barcelona, and the rest of the top clubs in the world. Before we're gonna be, I think I have a couple of questions to ask you before we end the show for today. Like I was asking the other time, I asked that, what do you think a grassroots player needs to do differently when he goes to the next scouting program? Because most times some of them will say, I've been to a scouting program, a lot of them, and nothing is happening. You understand? Some of them have this mentality, and which I always believe is a wrong approach. So what do you think he needs to do differently so that he can be seen in the next program he goes to?
I mean, like I was saying, it's all about never giving up. You need to be consistent, you need to be hardworking, and you need to believe in yourself and just continue and continue no matter what. We've had players we picked before that have been to 10 scouting programs and never been picked, and then at the 11th one, they're picked and they get to travel. Yes. So, and also get some feedback from your coaches, but also speak to your coaches and ask the coach to maybe approach the scouts that are there to get some specific feedback on the different players and as a team, what they can improve on and everything. And then the scouts could give that specific feedback to the coach, and he could now relate it to the players. Because of course, during a scouting program, it's impossible for a scout to now sit down with 1,000 players and tell them where they need to improve. But there's always time after the program to sit down with the coach and ask, or with the scouts, for the coach to ask what he feels the scout was lacking in the players that were not picked, in the game also. So I think that's a good one, and
I think that's a very good answer from you. And I don't think the next question, I don't think I will need to ask about it, because you've already said you don't really believe on video of a grassroots player, that you prefer for you to see them live to play, and with that you've been able to get enough of the result which you wanted. But if I may ask you, what's the comparison between a grassroots football? We know grassroots football is everywhere in the world. In Norway, in everywhere, every country has their grassroots football, because the grassroots football is the bedrock of every footballing nation. And what's the comparison or the difference between the grassroots football in Nigeria and the one in Norway, being your base?
I would actually say that I think major difference is the speed of the game, and maybe it has to do with the weather and stuff like that. But in international football now, you see that it's all about speed. You need to have speed no matter the position you play. You need to have that speed aspect of it, and of course you have lots of fast players in Nigeria, maybe faster than the majority, but also implementing that speed into the game. It doesn't help if you have speed and you only use it 5 minutes of the game. You have to be able to have enough high distance sprints during a game, and those are the things I would say is the major different. So players coming for trial also, I think the first 2-3 training sessions, they kind of surprised on how fast the game is when they come to Europe. But I would say you also have some academies in Nigeria where you see that they speed and they try to do the same things. Like I mentioned, your academy. I mentioned Baba Mohammed's academy, Hearts. You have Via. You have Sapphire. You have many. And sorry to the academies I didn't mention, but there are many good academies. Yes. So I think it's also about the knowledge that the coaches have and the way they implement it in this style of play and everything, because some academies really impress me when I watch them play, while others are still on the kind of, I would say, a bit old type of football with a bit slow, lots of passing backward. Yeah, so it varies a bit, but it's all about having good coaches, good scouts.
So we can say now that the comparison or the difference is the speed of the game.
Yeah, and also with the speed, you need to think faster, because when you have less time, you need to take your decisions faster. So just adding a bit of speed, it helps so many aspects of the game.
That's the speed of thought, and I think that is what is also helping the brightest Norwegian star in the world now. I would say the biggest Haaland, the biggest because he got the speed, and I believe he's also a product of grassroots. Because when I watched his what's he called, his interview, he mentioned the city he grew up and all that, his academy, also his dad being a coach and all that, you know, and it really shows that if more efforts are put into grassroots, we have a lot of superstars that that can actually emerge. So, like the comparison now, I would say, is the speed. That we have speed in Nigeria and also the speed also in Norway. All right. And if I may ask again, you know, like we are discussing about grassroots football and how we can make it better. If tomorrow you find yourself being in the arms of football affair in Nigeria, what will you do differently in the grassroots sector? What are you going to do differently to make the grassroots football better?
I would say educate the coaches. Make sure you have high quality coaches that understand what's needed in the modern game. And also other things that I told you, like when it comes to the training aspect of it, like with having enough balls, having nets on the goal post, things like that, focusing on finishing, but also in general having people that are in charge of the teams that have knowledge of how it works in Europe, because so many times you have good players in academies where maybe the management have no idea on how the football business actually works. So they come up with ridiculous claims and ridiculous demands sometimes that make it impossible to work with those certain academies. So I would say kind of raise the general knowledge of how the football business works, and also on the coaching side, on the scouting side, and just in general try to increase the level on all those aspects.
So I think in other words, it means generally we need to get educated from for the football business, for being a proprietor, from the proprietor to the coaches and even to the players. And I think this is part of what is actually lacking, and that is making so many grassroots players, you still see them being at the grassroots level for 15, 20 years, and they are still there because of lack of knowledge that they are having, lack of knowledge in terms from the coaches, lack of knowledge in football business from the proprietor him or herself. And because we'll be ending the show now, what's your general advice for grassroots players in Nigeria and other part of the world, in Nigeria and Africa in general? What's your general advice for them?
I think I think I've basically said most of the things that I have to say. I mean, like I mentioned, working with the right people, not falling victim to people who are just out to exploit them. Working hard, believing in yourself, being a full-time professional, meaning yes, being a full-time athlete. Think about your life outside of the training ground as well, and just generally believe in yourself. And I know if there's one thing Nigerians do, it's to believe in themselves.
That
So
the Niger spirit.
that's for sure. Because yes, and even in Norway they say it, because anytime a young Nigerian signs for a team, the first thing he says is, "I want to play for Barcelona in the future. I want to play for Man U. I want to play for." So when you believe in yourself, you can do a lot in your career. So believe in yourself. That's basically what I would say, and work hard. It's not enough to believe in yourself and pray to God if you don't put the work that's required in it. And when you see players like they've made it and they're in big teams and they still work out extra even outside of the training with the teams, then you, as a grassroots player coming up, you need to put in at least the same work, even more to make it. You need to stand out, because there are 10 millions of players that want the same thing. What makes you stand out is the work you put into it. While the others are out partying, you're training, and that's the difference.
That's a very great advice, and I would say thank you for this advice, and I hope some of the grassroots players are also watching. Before we close for the day, you said something initially about a player training just 2 hours. If I may ask you, what advice would you give? How many hours do you think, or would you advise for a player to train in a day for him to be able to attain at the professional level?
No, I'm not basically saying that you need to train more than 2 hours. I'm saying, as long as if you train even 1.5 hours or 2 hours, if it's high quality training, then of course it's more than enough. But what I'm saying is that you could do some things for yourself also. I mean, when you're done with the normal training, try and do some finishing. If you're a striker, do some finishing. If you
midfielder,
you understand, try to try to put in some extra work. So it doesn't mean that you have to like train 4 times or 4 hours a day. It's all about the quality in the training. If you train 2 hours and you're just doing basically nothing, then it's not going to help you. So that's the advice I
have. The shorter you train, the quality of training is what is most important, not the duration or the time at which you train. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It's just so unfortunate that
thanks for having me.
We lost the last connection. I think we had a lot of people watching, and some questions were actually dropped. And I think if I can remember one of them, a guy asked, he's a midfielder. If he goes to what qualities does he is he expected, or does he expected to possess for him to be seen and all that? You know, I don't know if you have anything to say to this.
Yeah, I mean, it depends also. I don't know what kind of midfielder he is, if it's a box-to-box or if it's a defensive midfielder. So without knowing the player, it's hard to say exactly. But of course, any midfielder needs lots of work rate. He needs to be clever. He needs to be a good passer of the ball. So all of these things are kind of general things that he needs to work on. But I would say stamina is really important, quick thinking, being fast. Those are the things, the advice I would give him for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would say listen to your coaches, because I'm an agent and I know lots about the game. I've played myself too, but there's still many people out there that are better coaches than I am. But I feel that I have an eye for talent.
It's all work hand in hand. A coach, a manager, an agent. You know, it's all about you understanding the game. And I would say thank you so much. If I couldn't pick up some other questions as well, if I could, I would have. If I have opportunity to pick it up, maybe I'll send it to the comment section. Then maybe you can give your advice. So if anyone is also watching, if you have any question you want to ask, you can actually ask. If you are just joining, in case you don't know, we are having the super agent, the main man himself, the only friend to E.D. Wood, the only friend, the number one friend of E.D. Wood online, Mr. Ataneke, the agent of Audio Ingalo. It's a privilege having you. We hope to see you soon. We hope the pandemic will be over soon, so that we can have the normal scouting programs and the event and all that back in Nigeria.
Sure.
So that everything we pray everything comes back to normal. Want to say thank you very much for thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we hope maybe any other time we call you on for the show to come and say one or two things. You'll be available for us.
Yeah. Sure. Anytime. And I think it's a good thing you're doing, educating, especially the players and making sure that the Nigerian grassroots football could grow. It's a great thing and it's a great initiative, and you've done a good job. Thank you
very much. Any last word for the viewers watching, please?
Yeah.
Any last word for them?
Yeah, no, the same thing. Believe in yourself.
For your fans, not the players, the fans watching, everybody. Because most people are here to watch the main man himself. Are here to listen. Any word for them?
Yeah, no, I think players have fans, agents don't have fans. So
agents too have fans. Agents too have
fans. No. No, but thanks a lot for supporting me. Thanks a lot for being there, and thanks for believing in me. And yeah, that's all I can say. It's a pleasure for me. I mean, football has given me so many things, and I mean, that's basically it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful evening, and our greetings to everybody over there. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Same to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.